Welcome back, Minecraft fans, to our very own world of Rivenbourne. We're in 1.16, so take a look at this. Those are pretty cool Blackstone buttons, aren't they? Anyway, we're going to be building a tree farm today because the people in this village, our new little city, have figured out how to harness things like TNT and redstone, and they would have something like a tree farm to, carry out their whatever their exploits are up here. And so we're probably going to build it right around here, maybe in this pit here, and we'll build some kind of an awesome structure around it, and it'll be involving a lot of this. That's right, Blackstone is here, and a little bit of basalt, and it absolutely needs to be taken advantage of, and where better to do it than this sort of dark, sort of smoky good guy village, but up here in the mountains. And actually, on an interesting side note, on the way here, we found our very first ever bees and beehives, so welcome to 1.16. Now, it's a good thing we found those bees because we need honey blocks for this 4-type tree farm to work. Honey and slime blocks, of course. And we also need a big hole. So I've marked out kind of the boundaries. This is the minimum space required. And we'll build a building that's, bigger than this. But let's get to work. And something else we don't have in this world yet is a beacon. But netherite pick should help make quick work of this. What do you think? Well, it's the tree farm. That's not the tree. That's just a helper block. And it supposedly is ready to test. So, of course, I followed a tutorial from, of course, El Mango, the tree farm wizard. And I'm not sure I'm really confident enough to test it, but here goes. You turn it on right here. Okay, it's on, and we put our tree right there. And when it grows, stuff happens, and I turn it off because that was plenty of a test. And it worked! It's a success! There's one thing I can do, it is follow step-by-step instructions. Woo! So the tree farm works. Pretty nicely too. But that's only the beginning of the story. In fact, that's really not even close to all of it. Because over here, I've built this monstrosity, which is not from the same tutorial, so don't look for it there. And it is a block conveyor, a downwards facing block conveyor, which is very difficult to make because of quasi-connectivity. It's very annoying. But anyway, as soon as a block gets hit, it pushes everything bloop, 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 down. No matter how tall the tree is, it just starts at the top and bloop, 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 it goes down. And it's pretty fancy. It uses this dropper tower here, which makes all the trapdoors go down. Anyway, it works, and it works with the right timing to make sure that it always gets pushed down. And what I'm going to do is push all of these trees down and then push them over, and underneath here in the heart of this mountain that we're building on we're going to have a TNT blast chamber, and that's where the folks of this village have endeavored to make their lives easier by employing gunpowder and explosions and farms and all that to give them wood and cobblestone and all that kind of cool stuff. So by appearance on the outside, they're a very poor, meek village, but underground, which they keep hidden, they've got very powerful things going on. And they're experimenting with some dangerous technologies that they don't necessarily understand even themselves. But we need to give it a test. Alright, so I'm going to do this in manual mode, which means I'm just going to place the sapling and use my own bone meal here. And let's make sure this works again. Whew. Okay, seems like it worked. Alright, good. So the last thing that happens is this here on a 3-tick delay gets powered, this side here. So what I want to do is, after the last thing that happens, I want to take that signal and convince our block conveyor to do its thing. So we can do that by updating this observer, and all I need to do is take a signal from right here, which is the last circuit to activate. So I think I'll just run a basalt line over to there. And yeah. And that ought to just bloop, update that observer, and then the conveyor should go. So that's it. We're just like that. with no delay whatsoever. So hopefully the timing is going to work out. Otherwise, we'll see about adding some delay and fixing the whole thing because it will be broken. So let's give this a try. Of course, the ideal situation is we grow a tree, it gets pushed over, and then the block conveyor shoves all of the blocks down right past this here. And so if everything works, we should have a tree planted right here. And you know what, actually, just in case it's really tall, let me dig down a little bit so I don't... Oh, done. All right, that was efficient. Here we go. Let's get some extra bone meal here. And saplings. Okay, one, two, and test. Okay, sounds were made. Tree is present. And the pistons are all back in their place. All right, it worked brilliantly. Okay, let me give you a demonstration from a spot where you'll be able to see what's going on. I just gotta make a button here. Thank you. And turn this little sucker on. Anytime now. There we go. And look at that. Oh my goodness. Is that not the coolest thing you've ever seen? Okay, turn off now. And now all that's left to do is reroute it back this way and set up a little TNT duper here that'll just blow up everything that goes down there. So we made some progress. I put in a few smart pistons here to take the block stream from up above and turn it this way and then down again so we can avoid that 12 block push limit. And then right around here, somewhere down there, we're gonna feed it back towards this TNT duper, which I've just put in here. And it's ready for a test. So let's test it. Could all go wrong and just blow itself up, but I'm hopeful at least a little bit that that's not going to happen. Otherwise, I wouldn't be testing it, right? Alright, with this button, we should see if this works. Double check everything one more time. Alright, let's light it off. Alright. And it was right on target too. Let's do another one. Let's just dig this hole a little bit. Perfect. Perfect. So when it's complete, we'll have the block stream going right next to it, the TNT falling, bursting in midair, and breaking all of the logs from our tree farm and anything else we might want to feed in here. And I'm thinking I'll coat the walls in obsidian, to make absolutely extra sure that nothing unwanted gets blown up. Now that we've got the TNT duper in there and I moved it, kind of flipped it around and pushed it up into the wiring up here so that the TNT wouldn't have to fall so far. I made a blast chamber with a little collection system, a temporary, I should say, collection system, but hey, it'll get the job done for now as long as we're testing it. And the reason is because wherever that eventually winds up is going to fit into the building, once I build it. So with the TNT placed where it is, on this, there's kind of a catching block right there. It's going to blow up at most 7 blocks. But it just so happens that the maximum height of a tree growing in this farm is 7 blocks. So there should be no reason that I can think of that I would have to power the TNT more than once per tree. So since this gets powered every time a tree comes out, guess I should be careful that it does only get powered once. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. I can just do a little repeater chain here. Let's just give it some delay for the fun of it. And that should be enough for all of our destruction needs. And it is loud, but it's satisfying how loud it is. Okay, here it goes. TNT, look at all that birch there. Boom! And then all the birch should be gone. And none of the pistons should have broken. So this one's still good. Is this one down here good? Look at that, it works. It works brilliantly. I think it's gonna work reliably as well. This is just too cool. Now all that's left to do is build an awesome building around this. And what I'm imagining is something with winding, twisting, like catwalks and corridors that lead to all these nooks and stuff, and dimly lit and just kind of sinister looking. But with all the booms, it's just an exciting place to work. Well, it works brilliantly. And there is one feature I want to add, which is a little timer to make sure you can't go too fast with this machine. Otherwise, the TNT will explode on top of itself, and that just is an unhappy day for everybody. But first, we need to build a structure around it, I think. And I've gone about this the wrong way. So instead of building this big old thing here, which I need a template home first, a model home. So let me get some supplies here. Got some ready. And we'll go to a spot down here, and we'll build a small one, just a little place. And I'm going to need a bed. Okay, so we'll build a model home right around here, probably right about here. And what we need are all of these materials. So we're building with the new blocks, and I'm thinking polished blackstone for the corners. Let's lay out something that is about the size we want in about the area we want. So let's go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And like I said, this is going to be really small. So just 7 by, I don't know, let's see. 1, 2, 3, block, 1, 2, 3. Let's just make it like that. What's that? 7 by 9. And I'm just going to make it a rectangle because, again, I'm not inventing the wheel here. I'm just going to do our normal sort of building, and then everything else can be variations of this one. And that's where it'll get more interesting. So let's do pretty much this. And of course, terraforming, essential, but it'll come later. So I decided to build with just the Blackstone first, and oh, this looks dark. These are not bad guys. I know I keep saying that, but this place is inhabited by good guys. They're just a little, frightening, that's all. And but once I get the spruce in, it's gonna look great. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But check out the roof. We're gonna use basalt because that is just the coolest new roof block that we've got. I'm very happy to use that. So we got to get it all angled the right way. So I'm going to throw in some helper blocks here and show you what I'm talking about. Doesn't that look like roof tiles? Shingles almost? Except for the top, which for that we have the magic of snow blocks. How's that for a roof? Pretty fancy, all possible because of the new 1.16 blocks. Great, the wood's in, and now we need a little bit of life, so we'll put in some light. I'm thinking a lantern there, and maybe a lantern here. This might be too many, but hey, for now, that's light, that's life. And some shutters, because of course, they don't have glass. Not in these older buildings, but they do need to keep out the storms, so probably put some right here. So, oh, let me get that. So they can shutter it up like that, which I kind of like because then you can put a flower in the windowsill or, an object of some kind. And then maybe like that. No, let me turn that around. So they can go with all the way open, they can go with partially closed, or they can go with storm warning. I like that. And it's asymmetric, but I think it's really, really practical. Anyway, I like it. I like this version too. See, now it doesn't look scary. It looks cozy. Looks like a nice place to get away from the storm. And what will help make it look better, if I have the blocks I need, will be kind of a fireplace back here, I think. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. And of course a door. Probably a door right there. Cool. Alright, no, that wasn't the door. I'm gonna build something. Make it nice and prominent on the back here. Nothing special going on there. Everyone's seen a fireplace like that. Let's do a little of this. Yeah. Alright, so this is pretty much the finished build. But one thing that really will touch it all off is a flower. These people aren't like the City of Sands. They don't really care about flowers, but they might have one. And look what I did with the floor. It's basalt in a pattern. It's not supposed to look like a pattern, but it does look kind of like a broken up stone floor. Fire in the fireplace. And of course, I've hidden a campfire up right under this block, and because the block is directly above it, the smoke just goes through it anyway. Here's something I've never seen before. A glitched snowy block with no snow on top. Who knew that's what the top of the snowy block looks like? So this is perfect. We've got our little model home, and the challenge now is to scale it back up to something that is big enough to cover our tree farm up here. So, with a few differences. So the idea is that this is like the old part of town. These houses were built when the people were pretty hard off and resources weren't plentiful and their lifestyle was tough. Then they started to get some, power and get some things done and build big things like this. So resources are less scarce and they needed to build things quickly. So this will be more like, a big like a warehouse building, whereas that is a cottage, a country home, an antique. And this is more going to be newer. So it won't look exactly the same, but we're going to use a lot of the same design decisions that we used on the little house on this one, and then put some cool industrial looking, walkways and catwalks, and maybe just some spare mine carts and that kind of thing lying around, scattered about. And actually, it's only 2 blocks longer than I originally planned, so not too bad. And then work on repairing the rest of the hillside around here, but that might have to wait until later. And this is what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Boring, plain, very structural and industrial. Although I will say, this is an awesome trick that I've really come to love. You've got the polished basalt here, and then right where it meets the Blackstone, a little bit of just regular basalt, and it looks kind of like it's like reinforced or maybe welded to the Blackstone or something. I don't know. It's just that transition is so cool, especially from a distance. But on this side, also plain and kind of boring. There's a couple windows. We're going to have offices up there, and a little bit more texture with the trapdoors here. And plus, let's see if we can see it. Anyway, I've hidden some light sources behind the trapdoors so that it kind of is barely illuminated at night. And then on this side, this is the model side with the snow on top that will eventually cover the entire roof. Also very industrial looking. And of course, we don't have a door or an interior yet, but that will come next time. So be very excited for the next time we're in our mountain episode. And it's the perfect size. So if you look at it from a ways away, let's see if we can see this. It doesn't dominate the skyline, but you can see that it's quite a bit bigger than anything else that they've built. And you can see it from everywhere. So there's room for other big factories and that kind of stuff that they've built up there as well. And there's room for a wall, which is eventually going to ring the upper level and the lower level. So all good things, but we might not be here returning to this village in the next episode. So what we need to do now is give the wheel a spin and see where we will be building next time. All right, wheels up on the screen. Let's see what we get. A lot of good choices here. And all right, back here, right in the Mountain City, next episode. Well, there you have it, folks. We will be back here in the Mountain City when we return to Rivenbourne. We got a pretty awesome tree farm built this episode, and in between, I'm going to build the interior with all kinds of twists and turns and machines and that kind of thing. So make sure you check that out in next time and see what else we build when we come back to our very own world of Rivenbourne. See you later.